why I'm still looking early. But it is Thursday. We have some errands to run here in a couple hours. That's why I didn't even bother really getting dressed. I just braided my hair to get it out of the way, and I still have on my pajamas. But Wendy's gotta go to the orthodontist later, all that stuff. So I'm not gonna be recording any of that. This Saturday is our family Thanksgiving. Why do I always do that? This Saturday is our family Christmas. Anyways, what I was saying is, I don't know what I was saying, to be honest, but it is Thursday and we're having our family Christmas. Got it right that time. On Saturday. I have a whole list of stuff that I gotta make, and I plan on sharing some of that with you all. A lot of it is just repetitive and stuff that I make every single year for our holidays, and stuff that you've seen me make here a lot, like our rolls, ever since I started making them for family dinners. That's what the family asked for. And isn't that the point of making a recipe? Like, you want to make stuff that people enjoy and want and like. So I gotta make rolls. I gotta make that baked macaroni and cheese again from Thanksgiving. If you remember, I mentioned that my dad said that it tasted like my mama's, and so that was a very high compliment, because my grandma, she passed away when I was, I think, 18 months old. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Or did she pass away before I turned 1? Either way, she passed away when I was a baby. I don't remember her, but we always have to have baked macaroni and cheese because of her, because it's just a memory and like a, I don't know, just a nostalgia for my dad to have that. So I gotta make that. I don't think I'm really making anything new. I might just record all of that, at least some of it. No promises, but I'm going to. Anyways, the point of this video is because during Treatmas, I had a friend well, she didn't ask, she said, I hope you're making potato candy. And I knew I was going to be making it for our family dinner. So I didn't want to make it for that, because my family does like it, but they don't like enjoy it as much as my non-immediate family does. Like, my mama really likes it, my aunt, and then just my nieces and nephews, they all really like it. So when I made it at Thanksgiving, it was gone before dinner was even served. So I thought somebody hid it, playing a joke on my mom, because they do that a lot, because, you know, they kind of fight over it. But no, it actually got ate before dinner was even served. So we're going to make some of that today. Am I rambling enough for you? Sometimes it'll be like that. So I'm gonna make that today because it'll be fine in the refrigerator for a couple days. Of course, my battery's gonna die. Anyways, short story, very long, but back short again. We're gonna make our potato candy today. That way I'm not super overwhelmed, because my sister, bless her, added even more to my plate. And I will be sharing that. That's gonna be an adventure. It's something I do. It's cakes. But it's something that I do quite often. But I'm just kind of gonna step it up a little bit, maybe. We'll see. That's the plan. But today we're gonna do the potato roll, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do a couple of things, like get my eggs boiled and just make like a list of stuff I can do tomorrow, get my cakes baked. Might do the peanut butter chocolate cake roll tomorrow as well. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday, right? And that way on Saturday I just have to do the rolls and then things that need to be fresh. On Thanksgiving I made the rolls the day before, and even took some that we had like the day before on our actual Thanksgiving, so like 2 days prior. And I don't know if Lily got one. I didn't eat one. I forgot to eat a roll. Who forgets to eat a roll? I don't know if Lily got one from our actual Thanksgiving or just where they was the day before, but she said they tasted a little bit yeasty and they wasn't as fresh. And I noticed the last time I made rolls, I ate one the day after. Nobody complained about it. John ate 2 or 3 of them that next day, but because I made a bunch, because Jonathan was here when I made them, but they ended up leaving right as they got done, and they didn't want none because they crazy. But it tasted a little yeasty to me, and it wasn't as soft. So I don't want that to happen with the actual Christmas rolls. So I want to make double batches of those on Saturday. And I'm just trying to make it less overwhelming for myself. So probably everything I can do tomorrow, I'll do tomorrow. And then Saturday, just do the rolls. But I still made that long, short story that I wanted short, long, didn't I? I don't have any mashed potatoes. I froze some from our Christmas dinner. I know it's a little long, but I thought that would be okay. I defrosted them and they was like flaky. Like, that's gross. Why did he do that? I don't know. But, and I've heard of people freezing mashed potatoes a lot. Like, there's freezer meal recipes and you can buy them frozen. I don't know. Mine messed up. But I'm just going to take one of these potatoes that I baked yesterday in the Instant Pot. So is it baked? No. And just peel it, you know, make it like a mashed potato. Now it's cold, so it's not gonna have the same fluffiness, but that's fine. We don't need it anyways. So we're gonna get that blended up here with a little bit of warm milk. I think I'm gonna warm it up a little bit and then warm up some milk and get that blended up and get it to a mashed potatoes consistency, and then we'll meet you back at the blender. Okay, and so for the sake of people that's never made this, or they, you know, they want to make it or whatever, I did scoop it out and it just perfectly was a half a cup. So if you're using already made mashed potatoes, and also just freezing them, but if you're using already made mashed potatoes or instant mashed potatoes, we're gonna go with half a cup of potatoes. So we got those. They still need a little bit of mashing. It's all right if they're a little bit lumpy, just a little bit. You don't want them too lumpy because that's gross. Nobody wants to bite into a potato when they're eating candy. And so we're gonna add a teaspoon, but I always just do this. A teaspoon of vanilla here, and we're gonna let this blend just a little bit more, get rid of some more of them little lumpies that's in there, and then we're gonna go and grab the powdered sugar, and we might need some heavy whipping cream and milk, or half and half, whichever one you have, whatever you want to use. I think we're gonna use half and half because we have it, so why not? And I wipe down the sides here one more time. It's looking like we're getting back to a good, you know, a good consistency. The couple of potato lumps that was left, that vanilla really just helps break it down somehow. Oh, science or something, I don't know. Okay, so this is the consistency we got it to now. So very mushy, not even like a potato anymore. So we're gonna start adding in our powdered sugar. I wanted this to make more than I made at Thanksgiving. I'm really bad about it. Usually I just eyeball it. So sometimes I make, you know, a big one. Sometimes I make a medium-sized one. Sometimes I make a small one. But this time I'm trying to make a decent-sized one. If it doesn't, we'll try again next time. I'm actually writing down totals, I mean like measurements for you, so next time I'll know. I can have to double it or whatever if I want a bigger one. So that'll help me as well. But we're gonna go ahead and start with, I guess, 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm confident it will need more than that, but we're just gonna start with 2. I'm also gonna change this out. I just wanted to start with this to help make sure I broke up the pieces in the potato. We'll still need that. We'll go ahead and add our 2nd cup before we put that thing in our way. Like I said, I know it's going to need more, but I don't want to start out too crazy. And while we're at it, I am going to add just a pinch of salt here, simply because it's always got salt in it, because I usually use mashed potatoes. If you're using mashed potatoes, I do suggest, if you think you're going to make this, you know, leave out the pepper. We don't cook with much pepper around here. So now this is at 4 cups. You can see it's still very drippy. Maybe you can see. And I was wanting a lot, so I'm okay with that. So this is definitely going to be a bigger one, I think. And we're going to go in with 2 more. And then if that's too much, we can add just a little bit of the half and half, which, by the way, I spent way too long looking for. I thought I threw it away. I found it in the door. I don't put it in the door, so I wasn't used to it being there. Might be a little bit too crumbly. I'm making the biggest mess. Powdered sugar and me, we don't get along well. But that's where the milk will come in if you need it. You'll want to add just a tiny bit at a time, maybe a teaspoon at a time, because with this recipe, a little bit will go a long way. Well, a little bit more since that was an accident. We might need a little bit more. That might be good. If you get it too wet, it doesn't work right. And if you get it too dry, then it will crumble and break. So I think we might do a half of a half and go from there. I think we're good there. Yeah, that feels perfect. So we're gonna get this cleaned up just a little bit, and then we'll get it put together. Left in it, and I kind of tossed it on the floor, and I said, you know, to myself, I said, I need to pick that up because that's still got some in it, and I must have threw it away. So it's not in there anymore, so we'll use foil paper. It's fine, no big deal. Alright, so I don't want that. That was like a little chunk that it had missed. I should have done this on the table. Then I could use my body weight to help smash it down. Okay, so this non-stick Reynolds wrap is some good stuff. It was, the potato roll wasn't sticking to the foil paper and it was coming up and ripping, so I had to put one piece on top and then one piece on, you know, obviously the bottom, and that way it wasn't directly, that way the rolling pin wasn't directly on the layer potato part. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, like I said, I'm not measuring it because you just want a pretty decent, not super thick because it'll just, you know, ooze out. You can add PB2 to this part too if you want it to be thicker. And I do that sometimes, but I have realized that if I just make it ahead of time and put it in the refrigerator, when I go to cut it, that it's not, it doesn't like ooze out. It only tries to ooze out if I cut it instantly, so I try not to do that. Even if you put it in the refrigerator and let it sit for a couple of hours, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't ooze out. But you want the peanut butter to be kind of thick. You want to be able to taste it. I'm trying to show, that's about how thick we're gonna go in with it. Maybe, I don't know, I'm bad with measurements. 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. Don't hold me to that. Just put in how much peanut butter that you want on it. Okay, so now, you see I put a little lip on it here, and now we're gonna roll it up. Definitely not the fun part, especially getting it started. Now, if it breaks a little bit, it's fine. People gonna eat it anyway, so don't worry about that. And typically, if it breaks a lot, then that means that your dough was too dry. So next time, you might want to use a little bit less powdered sugar, or most easily be adding just a little bit more of your milk or cream or whatever that you're adding to it. Just getting it started here. This would have been easier with parchment paper because it wouldn't have stuck as bad. Nothing we can't work through though. Alright. See? This little plump in the middle. It's alright, potato roll. Me too, buddy. Now, we're just going to use this same foil. I wanted to make sure it was all, you know, fairly loose. We're going to use this same foil paper and wrap it up again. And then I will re-wrap it to get the ends covered. This one's a huge one. I'm really happy about that because I wanted a big one. So, this is probably at least double the size of the one I made for Thanksgiving. Alright, we're going to re-wrap it. This one we want those ends to be covered. Alright, and there we have it. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. I'm going to wait and finish out this video after I show the end result of this. So we will pick you back up on Saturday when I'm cutting this and prepping it, and I'll share it within and close it out. Thank y'all for watching, and as always, remember to show grace, be content, and live blessed. Bye, friends.